I'm sales team turnaround specialist Jeremy DeMerchant, and each week I bring sales leaders like you experts and insights that will help you level up your leadership, motivate like a master, and ultimately crush your comp plan. If it's time to raise the bar on your team's performance, then it's time for Sales Team Rescue. Welcome to Sales Team Rescue, episode number 109. I'm your host, Jeremy DeMerchant, and today I want to shoot a quick episode for a couple of reasons. One, to be transparent here, I want to test to see which episodes perform better on different platforms, just to see. But two, I want to make sure that this one topic that's come up over and over again working with clients, and even people that aren't actual clients yet, this topic has proven to be such a huge problem for most people that I want to nip the problem in the bud. And the problem is, how do we compile a list of frequently asked questions, of challenges we face? How do we basically map out our sales process for sales reps? Sales reps that are new, are going to be trained on a specific product, or maybe with your company. Maybe you're an outsourced sales company and trains on multiple products. Well, it can seem very, very heavy to sit back and write out that entire process. You can do it, but it may seem heavy. And let me fix my microphone here. But the easiest thing to do is just hit record. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when you're actually doing calls with your prospective clients or prospective customers, you're having conversations with them anyway. And so if you can go and just hit record, whether it's an audio conversation or a video conversation, right now in Zoom, for example, if you're doing sales calls over Zoom, Zoom lets the person know when you come in and that you're recording, and it's all good. Depending on your laws in your state or province that you're in, you may or may not have to let somebody know if you're recording the call. Either way, it's the easiest way to be able to capture your existing process. Now, I was speaking to somebody last week, and they said, "What's your process?" And I said, "I don't really have a process." And this was for something very specific. And they said, "Well, you do. You just don't have it written down." And I went, "You're right." And of course, I should know better. I do this stuff too, but on the sales side, it's as simple as capturing what already exists. And that's the way it is through most of the systems in your business anyway. But if you can capture what you're already doing, what your clients are already saying, what questions your customers have, if you can capture the process that somebody goes through from a sales perspective, then you can just document it. So my dad, he's, how old is he now? I don't know, 66, I think. Yeah, I think that's right. And he was the manager of hydro operations and maintenance, operations manager. Something. Anyway, some fancy title that had to do with manager, where he basically oversaw multiple power plants. And everything was all about SOPs, standard operating procedures. How do you map out those procedures? How do you document them? And it turned into these large lists and large documents that just seemed really overwhelming. Now, it's there and it's good to have the procedures, especially to reference back. But instead of having to document everything step by step, what I want to encourage you to do is simply record the calls you're having with your customers so you can capture what they're asking. And it's going to do two things for you. One, it's going to obviously capture what you're doing, but two, it's going to allow you to go back and analyze that and to be able to create a better approach. So for example, the first time you get an objection to your pricing, you might struggle. You might, slip, you might stammer, whatever. You might not be ready. Or there might be an objection because of some competing product. Well, the first time you get that objection, you might not be ready and you might not answer it to the best of your ability. And you might lose a sale. And that's okay. But after that, especially because you've documented it, you've recorded it, not only do you have it on record, but then you can change your process. So you can say, look, next time somebody says that there's a concern around pricing, I'm going to say X, Y, Z. Okay, so the process in this case, it already exists. Just hit record and write it down, or save the link somewhere. And with technology, this is super easy. If you have a process that you use in your CRM, jump on any kind of recording software, including Zoom, share your screen. You don't have to stream it anywhere. Just record it for yourself. Show how you go step by step through. This is the person, this is the prospect, this is the stage you're in, and this is how we move them through the pipeline. This is where we put our notes. This is how we change lead statuses. Just document it step by step. Okay, and you're going to want to actually break this down into a few different stages. One is going to be an overview of the company, because you want them to buy into you. Okay, if you are the CEO or you're the leader of the company and these salespeople you want to bring on are reporting to you, you want to have something passionate about your why the company exists, the change you're trying to make, the impact you want to leave in the world. And you want to have them buy in. You want to have them drink your Kool-Aid. And we talked about this, many, many months ago, actually, in our previous episode. But I want to put it in here and talk about how you just have to hit record and just talk about what you're passionate about. Talk about your why. Talk about why your company exists and why you're willing to trade in, a standard 9-to-5 job to work 14 hours a day to do this. There might be some extreme examples there, but sometimes it's not. So that's one, about the company and about you as the owner, the leader, so that people can buy into the vision. So you want your team to buy into your vision. 2 is just go step by step through the process of the sales. Okay, what's the experience? What are the challenges? What objections do you have? Things like that. What are the stages you need to move them through? What's the paperwork that has to be done? That can all just be copied by recording. Just hit record. The other piece on the product specific side is to record a section about why the product. Okay, why is this product so important to you? Why is this such a big deal? Why does it exist in the market? And that's really it. This doesn't have to be complicated, but it can feel really, really heavy. Do not bring your sales reps in saying, here's what I've done. Listen to me in a couple of calls. Okay, go do it yourself. Document what you have, because until you have it documented, you're not going to be able to scale it. And that's what you need if you want to bring on sales reps. So if you're struggling, if you feel like creating these processes is really, really heavy, all you need to do is just hit record. That's it. Just hit record. And it'll blow your mind. You're going to see things about what you do in the run of a day that is going to completely surprise you. In fact, I would go the extra step and document what you do in half-hour increments. So this might just be for you. But if you want someone to replace you in a sales role in your company, then it's worth you paying attention to what activities take how long. What's reasonable to expect someone to do in the run of a day? If you want people to do 60-minute sales calls, then you're not going to be able to have 8 sales calls a day, because there's no time to do the administrative part between calls. There's no time for people to give themselves a mental rest. Long sales calls are mentally draining. So you want to be able to do this and measure yourself. And that way you're going to have this process documented. So when time comes to replace yourself, to add in another sales team member, whatever it is, you've got everything recorded. So all you need to do is just hit record, guys. Okay. So that's my little rant for the day. Keep it simple. If you have some stuff happening in your company on the sales side or in other parts, just hit record. Document it somewhere. Go to a Google Drive and say, hey, this is a video of me using the CRM to move a deal through the pipeline. Put a link to where that video lives, or save it on your drive, or just link it all together so it's easy to get to. Put them all on that one sheet. One Google document will do the job. But make sure you've got your videos stored somewhere that you can get access to them, and people you want to share with can get access to them, okay? So guys, that is it. When you want to create a document and document a process around what you currently do, just hit record. Okay, guys, that's it for me. I am your host, Jeremy DeMerchant. This was episode number 109 of Sales Team Rescue. If you want to book your sales team readiness assessment with yours truly, go to salesteamrescue.com. If you want to see the replay of this episode and previous episodes, you can also find that at salesteamrescue.com. And remember, get uncomfortable, get results. Cheers, guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining me. Let's keep the conversation going. You can find more episodes and a link to join our online community over at salesteamrescue.com. If you haven't already, be sure to hit subscribe and give the show a review to help us reach more sales leaders like you. If you'd like our support in creating your own high-performance sales team, book a call with us at salesteamrescue.com.